Just hang on one second. Worked.
Hey.
That's the best part about these lives is it hopefully it works and we figure it out. But this is your
Yeah.
first live.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, just working at home for 3 months now, hanging in there.
Yeah, me too.
Well, thank you so much. We have about 46 people on already, so I'll get started. And we
Great.
so much interest in drop shipping. I cannot tell you. Since we've been promoting this live session, tons of people have personally reached out to me, just finally excited and grateful to hear about drop shipping. It's a buzzword right now, and it's more important than ever that people are considering it and know what it's all about before they actually do it. So before I get started on drop shipping and asking you a bunch of great questions, I just wanted to introduce you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Sarah and I met a couple years ago now. Sarah has an incredible podcast that I was a guest on. She has been helping designers and retailers for years with their businesses. She had a handbag brand herself, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and is doing consulting now as well. So we're really excited to have you, and thank you so much for taking the time today to talk about drop shipping.
Oh, I can't wait. I love it.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, so define drop shipping for me. For those of us that aren't familiar and it's a new term, what is it?
So it's when you take your product brand that you would normally maybe be wholesaling to stores or selling on your own website, at retail, and offering it out to other people to sell for you. So let's say I have a handbag line and you have a store, right?
Mhm.
So Kelly's Boutique wants to sell my bags and you're closed or have limited opening options right now or curbside pickup or something. So you could put my bags on your website and you would sell them retail. And then you and I would split it 50-50 and you would just send me the order. I would ship it. So it's a whole touchless process.
Okay, so let me get this right. Drop shipping. I have a boutique. I have an online store now, hopefully. So it's usually in an e-commerce part.
Yes.
So I post this striped shirt on.
Yep.
Can actually purchase the inventory for you who owns this striped shirt. I just took a picture of it from you, the brand, posted it on my website, kellysboutique.com, and then I got an order for one from a consumer, a shopper.
Right.
And then I call you and say, hey, I sold one of those striped shirts. You're like, great, give me her information and I'll ship it to her.
Exactly.
I get paid. So the brand shipped this directly to the shopper. I get paid $20 for this. I keep 10, you keep 10, or whatever the wholesale price is. I just pay you out after that.
Exactly. And usually most people are doing a 50-50 because normally, if I bought it for 10 from you, I'd probably retail it for 22 to 24, right? So let's just say it's $24 retail. I'd actually give you 12 instead of 10 because it's a little bit of a hassle factor to ship one item wholesale, right? Normally I would have shipped you a dozen to your store. So it makes it worth it. But when you're shipping one item at wholesale, right, you're kind of losing money in a sense for the packing, the shipping, the time it takes to print the order and all the stuff that goes into it.
So you're paying the brand a little bit more for them to pack and ship it, as opposed to what you maybe would have ordered a pack at and so forth.
Exactly.
Now, you guys, if you have any questions as we're talking through drop shipping, please go ahead in the comments and ask the questions, and we'll try to get to those as you're asking us those questions so they're fresh in your mind. Okay, so drop shipping. This is so interesting. I actually feel like this is consigning. Is it?
Well, it's sort of akin to consignment, except for that me as the designer, right? I'm not coming to put my handbags in your store or your striped shirt, right? You're just putting the picture on your website and saying, hey, let me see if somebody wants to buy this. Oh, I've never carried that brand before, but it looks cool. And now I can do it for free. So it actually gives stores an amazing opportunity to test brands because it's 100% free. The only investment is really the time it takes, the 5 minutes or 10 minutes to put the product on your website and connect it to your shopping cart, right? Because that's really all you're investing. And then of course you're doing your normal online marketing or marketing to get people into your store, whichever way you're going with things. I've even seen people give but few items, like one of everything to a store, you know, one of whatever they like. And they've got a small rack in their store. And then they say, oh, I like your top. I need it in a medium and you only have it in a large for me to look at and try on. And then they go on your website, they order it, you know, for the person. And then it's sort of like the drop shipping all over again.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to get to like physical drop shipping versus putting on your e-commerce shop in a second, because you just brought up a great idea. So we just got a question from Ivory Couture Boutique. And so they said, wow, if you're splitting it 50-50, it does sound like consignment. So I guess what Sarah's saying is it is a little bit, except it's like a digital consignment. You're getting that picture of that product. And then once you actually sold it online on your e-commerce shop to your buyer, you go back to the brand, they ship it, and you split it 50-50, just to make sure. If you guys have questions throughout this, again, just ask in the comments. So that's how you do it on e-commerce. Or if you have an Instagram or a Facebook shop launched this week, huge news.
Yeah.
So you can post a picture and do it that way. You also can do it, Sarah's saying, in your actual physical boutique, almost like a showroom. So you're buying from showroom. So if you have a physical brick and mortar, you can have ones of everything. You can ask the brand, can I get one of these 10 items? I'm going to go ahead and whether hopefully you probably will compensate them for those one-offs and so forth.
Yeah, maybe they give you a better deal or something to have those out there, especially if it was a store that actually carried your brand all the time. They may just not have the cash right now to place their normal $5,000 or $10,000 order, right, for a boutique, but they could buy a few, like 10 or 12 pieces, either at wholesale or maybe a little off, but maybe you split the cost between your cost and wholesale as kind of samples, right, that they're going to use to sell in their store. So, I mean, there's no hard and fast rules. I feel like it's the Wild West now. I'm like, make a deal when you can, do whatever, just get your stuff out there.
Yeah, this is a great way, sorry to cut you off, to not invest in inventory right now if you don't have those dollars. Like, this basically doesn't cost you much. And if you do this in your brick and mortar and you have that showroom, I'm sure people aren't really feeling comfortable with trying on right now. So it's actually a perfect situation for those who don't want to try on and say, let you just have this one top hanging, and they say, they don't have to touch it. They say, I really like that. And you're like, no problem. What size are you typically? It runs small, large, whatever. I'm a medium. I'll ship it to you directly. Then you call this brand and say, ship them that one piece directly. And again, I'll pay you. Now, what happens if they return either way? Does the brand usually take those returns, or do you kind of own that inventory at that point?
You own it at that point.
Okay. So that's the drop shipping. But then you have it and you can repost it and sell it, or re-put it maybe.
Yeah.
Wow, got it. And so I guess why drop shipping has become so popular right now is because people don't necessarily want to invest in inventory and spend. Are stores buying new items right now, do you think?
Oh yeah, actually I was doing one of my group calls this morning, and one of the women who sells jewelry came on, and she's like, I just have to share, some of my biggest stores started calling this week, bigger boutiques, not obviously department stores, but and she was like, I almost fell off my chair, because she'd been going after them, offering drop shipping, because these had been consistently good customers who had sold a lot of her brand. So I think it seems like as different states are opening, and some of the, every state's different, right? We don't have a national way of doing things right now. It's state by state. So some states you can actually go into stores, right? So some kind of socially distanced, rules. And then other places it's curbside only. So maybe you have to go on their website, look and see what they have. And you're like, oh, I love that striped turtleneck. Great. I'm going to come pick it up. And then, I guess you can take it home, try it on. And if it doesn't fit or whatever, you can bring it back. I've seen some websites that say no returns, no exchange, final sale.
And so if a store is interested in drop shipping, finding brands that actually are open to offering this, I actually see some people saying that we drop ship. So it's really great to let stores know that you do offer that if you are a brand as an option. Mm-hmm. But we've started as Magic and Project Women's collecting all of the brands that drop ship. So, you and I have talked about this a little bit, is so now if a buyer says to us, hey, do you know of any brands that dropship, we can send them a list of, 40 accessory lines or 40 t-shirt lines and kind of help
Right.
match make them and say, all these brands are drop shipping. And I feel like our brands and our stores are appreciating it so much. And it's a
Yes.
form of matchmaking right now. So if you're a brand and you actually are drop shipping, that's really valuable for a lot of our stores. And make sure to let your stores know that as an option. Of course, when things get better and they're able to buy as normal, you're going to be their first go-to because you were willing to work with them on this.
Totally. And it might actually be a great idea. A lot of websites have just a single banner with it, with an image or something. Maybe break it up and do a little box that says we drop ship, or click here for drop shipping information. Just so that stores, if they hit your site, or if there's a wholesale section or something, that you add something like that, so they know right away that you're, part of the drop ship crowd.
So many people are saying they love to try it. So I'm really happy you guys all chimed in. Somebody's saying, like, how do I get started? I'm just wondering, the person who asked that, how do you get started? Are you on the brand side or are you a boutique? And we would love to kind of try to answer that for you. Somebody did ask me, sorry, real fast, is magic really happening? I'm actually can announce this now. We have officially postponed our dates. It is not happening in August, although Las Vegas is slightly starting to open up. We just felt like August was way too soon to have our event. So for everybody's safety, we have decided to postpone the event to the end of September, early October. It's September 29th to October 1st. So we're really excited. It just was very hard to find a date and a venue for the size of Magic. So it was our only option, but we feel like pushing it out that 6 weeks will help people feel more comfortable to come. Of course, the event will look a little bit different. We're going to make sure to take a lot of safety measures. It's so important. So social distancing and just a ton of stuff that we're going to start notifying all of our attendees via marketing. We do realize it did land on a Jewish holiday a little bit. It's actually during setup, but that which broke our heart, because we would never in a million years try to at all make that happen. We would never do that, but sadly it was our only opportunity for dates. So we are going to open up on the first day, September 29th at noon. So those who observe the holiday can actually observe it and then hopefully fly out the next day after the holiday is done. But my sincerest apologies to that community, because I never wish that happened. But I'm excited to have an event. People are ready to get back to business. Both our brands and our retailers are just excited. And I think that's a great sign, to your point, Sarah. Like, things are opening up in Dallas, things are opening up in Georgia, and even in LA. I live in Ventura County, not LA County, and we can start shopping again. So, and I got invited to drink somewhere, and I want something new to wear because I'm so sick of looking at my stuff. So it's definitely times. So what are the steps to dropship? Any programs to keep it all organized? And that person who asked was actually on the brand side, who said, where do I get started with dropshipping if they're a brand?
Sure. So the first thing you want to do on the brand side is get either a Dropbox or Google folder, whatever you work in, and download all of your products into this folder so you can easily share it with any stores that are interested. So maybe have a folder that is images. If you sell multiple products, I would separate them into t-shirts, jewelry, pants, just so it's easy for them to find the products that they want. And then I know that in the back end of your website, you should be able to just download a CSV file of all your products. So it's pretty easy for someone to then upload it to their own website, or they can download it, delete the lines they don't want, or whatever. It makes it a lot faster to quickly get some products up. Then they've got all the pricing and everything, and just make sure that your photo names match the product names on the doc, so they can match photos with different products. So that's just sort of getting the little things out of the way. But then really it's just starting your marketing. So if you normally do email marketing to store buyers, you want to just start, emailing them with subject lines, so-and-so brand is doing drop shipping, or whatever you think the best subject line for your customers are. I find that one works really well. We're open for drop shipping, something like that. And then tell them about your offer, what you're going to give as far as percentages. Not everyone can split 50-50. Sometimes I find or talk to vendors who are like, well, my margins aren't that great, but this is a great selling item or whatever. So you can always, you know, if you have to do it 60-40, then throw that out there, right? They're getting 40% of something rather than, you know, 100% of nothing. So, you know, you, like I said, it's the Wild West. You can kind of make your own rules.
And we have a lot of questions coming up on the opposite side. If I'm a boutique, how do I get started drop shipping and find brands? And real fast, I want to let you guys know that on here, I have, if anybody from the Magic team, whether you're retail or sales, can raise your hand, just put one of those little hands up. All those people can actually help you, and we can message you a list of brands that drop ship. So if you're like, I'm this kind of store, here's the type of brands I carry, we can actually put together a list for you of brands that drop ship. Okay, so if you work for Magic, give a hand, and any of us can help you get brands that drop ship. But so if you are a boutique and interested in drop shipping, Sarah, where do they start?
So at that point, you just want to start reaching out to the brands either that you've been currently working with and stocking in your stores and seeing if they're doing drop shipping, you know, or if you have a list, possibly, you know, from going through a trade show, right? You went to Magic, you saw 30 brands that you weren't sure maybe that you couldn't afford it, or you'd already spent your money or whatever your situation. Now's the time to reach out to them because you can totally try it for free. You know, you might not be sure that a $600 jacket would sell in your store. You normally sell a $350 jacket, but you could put the $600 one up on your site and see what happens. So there's a lot of opportunity, I think, for growth for boutiques to try different brands and just expand outside, you know, your normal, the brands that you just kind of go to at every show or have, you know, sort of standardized in your brand, in your store.
Yeah, and people are saying, if, you know, I have a storefront and I don't sell online, what's the easiest way to start? And I would suggest, I mean, once you reach out to your brands and you collect all of the pictures of the product that they're willing to drop ship and you curate that look, get on Shopify. They're offering like 3 months for free right now. And they have the most incredible tutorials where you can literally just like grab and create a storefront. And you can start marketing that to your email list. Hopefully you have an email list for your brick and mortar boutique in your storefront. And then you can start saying, we're so excited, we're going to finally offer online and do it through Shopify for 3 months and test it with the product. And then maybe you even, the product that you're planning to drop ship. And then maybe you even take some of the merchandise that you have in the store, older inventory, and you also post it up there and try to get rid of it that way. I really do suggest that everybody is omni-channel these days. If you have a brick and mortar and you don't feel comfortable selling on Shopify and opening up an online e-commerce store, you should be selling on Facebook shops. Super easy. Also, you can do all of your your dropship ordering there. And then you can also use Instagram shops, or you can do Facebook Live or Instagram Live like we're doing right now. So imagine if I was in my store and I was showing you piece by piece. You can also do something on your live where you upload a photo. So I can say, hey guys, look I'm selling this shirt. And then right now you would see a photo flash there. So it's so important, especially now, to engage with your shoppers and your consumers because they want to see you face to face, and that really builds trust. And so I would actually do some lives or some social media marketing first without trying to sell and start building the trust. And so when you are ready to kind of do the sales push, they trust you. And that's for the brands too. I'm really talking about the brands too who haven't yet made the jump from D2C. Obviously, I'm in the B2B, all wholesale, but I really believe it's important to also do D2C, and you should be getting in both, areas of selling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
some of the other
first, by the way, are raising their hand. So I hope you guys saw that, that we have a bunch of people. If you're willing to get on a dropship list, or you're also a store who wants that, we'll help you. What were you going to say, Sarah?
I was going to say another kind of fun way, if people are don't want to have a website yet or aren't ready, and they're going to sell on Instagram or Facebook, is you can use apps like Ripple or little video making apps on your phone. And if you have photos of all let's say you've got some sweaters left from February or something or whatever, right, that you didn't know how to sell because you didn't have an online store, or even new products, you can upload the pictures to your phone and then I use Ripple. It's kind of a fun little app, and you can put music to it and you can put text on it like, sweater on sale, $29, and you could do these videos and post those on your social media pages and then have people email you to buy it or something like that, if you're less tech savvy.
That's such a good idea. I think all those pointers are really key. And, somebody just asked a funny question. They're like, okay, if the drop shipping for wholesalers without an online, okay. So they were saying, to my point, like brands should start thinking about D2C that are only doing wholesale. And then a boutique said, well, wouldn't the drop shipper and the boutique be competing? But that's happening today, right? Like Levi sells to thousands and thousands of stores, but they also have their own site where they sell directly to the shopper.
Right.
It's okay. The difference is you guys are marketing to different people.
Exactly.
So me, the owner of this t-shirt brand, is marketing to different people and driving them to my site, but the owner of Sarah Shaw Boutique is definitely has her own marketing list that she's marketing. So don't think about it as competing. You guys have different people that you're talking to and driving shoppers, okay?
Totally. And
Right.
one thing I wanted to talk about that you mentioned was starting to email your list as a boutique. And some boutiques that I've spoken to, the owners, they're like, I don't have a mailing list. I was like, but do you use PayPal or Stripe or Square or something to take money? And they're like, yes. And I said, great. Well, then you can just go there and download the list of people who've purchased in your store.
Wait,
So you can
brilliant.
you can build a list.
And they all put their emails in there?
Well, most of those companies will capture because they'll want to email the person a receipt. So they know who the credit card is linked to. Sometimes you go, like I know I go into a store or at a farmer's market or something and I pay for something with a credit card and then I get an email. But I didn't give them my email address and it just says, thanks for buying your lettuce or something.
So it was through Square or PayPal or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's so smart. So actually, I would love to ask you for everybody in terms of marketing and lists, like, do you have any tips on how either our brands or our stores who are looking to sell, how do you market? What are your favorite tips that are super practical? That is mind blowing to me. Like, how do people start lists if they don't really like have content or getting opt-ins? For a smaller company, that's really difficult. So what are some great marketing tips?
So, well, to start with all the people who've already purchased from you, right? And get those email addresses and then really reaching out to friends. I think at this point in the world, I've always really used my friends that way. Hey, we're launching this brand or we need to move online. Like let's say it's a store that doesn't have a website, but they do have some email addresses. Maybe people sign a book when they come in or something. I've done that and seen stores that have like a book that you sign up to get their emails or something. And so they send you email marketing, but it's not very often. I think a lot of people get scared. I don't want to email too often. They're going to unsubscribe. Well, it's bye-bye. It gets better to email a lot and get rid of the people who aren't interested or signed up for some random reason, who aren't going to actually spend money with you now. But then you can go out to those people and also ask them if they can forward your email. So if you're using an email service like MailChimp or Constant Contact or ActiveCampaign, you can add a forward to a friend inside the emails really easily. So you can say, hey, forward your friend this coupon code for 20% off, right? And then maybe you'll get 15 people will forward it to their friend, or, like June 8th, I was just looking this up. There's a website that gives you kind of funky holidays. And June 8th is Best Friends Day. So maybe if you're selling to, either you're the boutique side or the vendor side, you can send emails to your list, on this coming weekend, maybe, hey, June 8th is Best Friends Day, buy one, get one free, give one to your friend, make their day, so thinking about ways that people can buy more than one, if you can afford to, buy 3, get 1 free, if it's something small and not too expensive, so that it's, it gives people the reason. You want to give them an excuse to buy something more. Did you love our face cream? Great. Get some for your mom, or your best friend.
And here's a coupon code since you're loyal for 10%. Mm-hmm. Where, by the way, if anybody's just joining us, I have Sarah Shaw with us. She's really a fashion expert and a great consultant friend. And we're talking about drop shipping specifically. So if you have any questions around drop shipping that you've been dying to know, no question is too stupid. This is literally like drop shipping 101. So ask them in the comments and we'll try to answer. to your point, I also, in order to build customers, I'm a big fan of the influencers still. Some people think that
Mm-hmm.
they're in, but engagement's been really up since COVID-19 and people are home on their phones more. So some of the things I recommend is if you have a brand or a store to reach out to smaller influencers, like 5 to 10,000 followers, kind of make sure they look like real, like their actual life, their photo. If it's like 5 likes, those followers aren't real. And when you find girls that or people that fit your customer, your tribe of women, reach out and say, I'd love to gift you 1 or 2 pieces. I'll let you choose. So it's your style. If you can post and promote, I'd really appreciate it. And a lot of times the girls under 10,000 followers would love to do something like that just for some free clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Or so build that, and then they will then post, and hopefully even if you just got 5 followers out of every girl you gave a free pair of jeans to, that's 5 more followers that you didn't have yesterday, and it's worth it. So
Totally.
it's important to DM people, direct message people who you want to promote the brand. Okay, we have a couple more. What is the name of the calendar site, the one that lets you know about days such as BFF Day?
If you look, I'm totally blanking on the name.
Like you could just Google like funny.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, if you Google funny holiday dates,
Yes.
it comes up, and it's called holiday something.
And that's actually a great way to create content, right? So like on Best Friends Day, to tag all your best friends on your Instagram profile and to promote, and then they repost, and then people are like, oh, Kelly just reposted this, and they tag on, and it leads to your page. Like that organic content is really what drives.
Yes.
Yeah. Looks like we have another question coming in, but is Alibaba a place to source for drop shipping? Okay, so we work with Alibaba. They've actually been an exhibitor of ours. I would just say it's so overwhelming because Alibaba is like a giant Amazon marketplace in China, and nothing's curated, it's too big. So if you start filtering down, you get hundreds and thousands. So I think you just have to, the word curate is really in my head, and I think it's important. Most of them have high minimums too. And when I say high minimums, it's like a couple hundred, not a couple 100,000. But if you want to like have one-offs, it's really not the place. So I suggest you really find the brands you love or that work with that you would buy for your store, and you reach out to them directly to see if they drop ship. Or if you find a brand even on Instagram that you like while you're scrolling, and just DM and say, I love your line. Would you be interested in drop shipping? I would love to put you up on my store or in my boutique to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to be in front of the camera on social. Does that hurt my business? No.
No.
Okay. I'm a big believer that everybody should have a personality behind, because it makes it more authentic and engaging, and like, more than ever, people want to know the person or the story behind the brand, behind the store. And I think as they get to know you, you're actually going to have a lot more authentic, loyal following. What do you think, Sarah?
Oh, I totally agree. I think the more, if you feel comfortable in front of the camera, get on there, and, you like sort of what you were saying before too, you can get on and you could flash pictures into your live, but you can just be live, even showing like, look at my earrings or my necklace, or let me put this on, or this whole outfit. And it could just be like a 30-second thing, right? This shirt, my pants, these shoes, the earrings, your hair tie, right? Whatever you're selling. And it can be as quick as possible, because I think shorter is better.
Yeah, our dear friend who owns a boutique, she's been faithful to magic for a long time, the Tiny Closet. She does a really good job of that if you guys want to follow her. So she has the Tiny Closet page, and it's really always her just talking to her followers and real life stuff. So people then feel she's relatable, and they love her. They know about her cat is annoying or peed on her bed. And like, and here's something from my store. And you're like, I just love her, So I think it's really important. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, maybe there's a girl who works for you that's willing to do it, that she's engaging and dynamic and would be a great personality to kind of represent you, that likes social media and feels comfortable with it. So I think it's important. So Sarah, people are asking me like, do you help boutiques with social media? If people were interested in working with you after this, because you do consulting for fashion brand stores, everybody, how could they reach you?
Oh, you can just go to my website at sarahshawconsulting.com, and there's a button that says book a free 45-minute call with me. And I would love to talk to you, and we'll just work it out.
Would you be annoyed if I like actually submitted that? Because I kind of need another 30 minutes with you.
That's fine.
So back to drop shipping for a sec. Let's talk about the risks with drop shipping, because I think it's important if your brands listen up, also boutiques. So I have a boutique and I'm working with a brand who drop ships. I sell something and it's their responsibility to send it to the customer. Now, can I tell the brand, I really would love for you to put a handwritten note, like, thanks for shopping with this boutique, or can you tell them, or is that not their responsibility? My fear, if I was a boutique, that brand and the way they package it and send it out is a reflection on me. And I, being a control freak Virgo, don't like the fact that I can't control what my packaging and what everything looks like, and I can't put my cute little love note in there. So there is a risk there. If that brand sends the package out looking crazy, it's a mess.
Right. Yeah.
That's a risk, right? And like, what can you tell a brand to do?
Well, I think you can just make the rules, right? Kind of back to the Wild West scenario. Okay. You know, I think as a brand, you need to be clear about what's important to you when you package and ship something. So if it's putting in a note or even some tissue paper, you can, you know, you might want to just test it out, 1 or 2 items, and see if that vendor is going to do well for you. But if they do, you could even just make up a little box and ship it to them, right? Ship them your tissue paper and some of your little love notes and a sticker or whatever, and then have them wrap it, because they are going to put your invoice in the box, right? You're going to, you know, Sarah's boutique here is going to email you the order, you know, that Susie ordered, you know, and it's going to have the instructions, the product name, because she ordered it from my website. So she doesn't even know who you are, but you are the shipper.
Can you stay with that for a minute? So the logistics behind drop shipping, I think, is really interesting. So Susie orders off Kelly's boutique, this one item. You then send that invoice to the brand, and the brand is expected to print that invoice and put it in the package.
Otherwise, she won't know who it came from.
Okay, so the brand, you need to print that invoice, put it in the package, make sure you do a really good job on the boutique's behalf to package and ship it the way in which they would like. And then, because if they get bad feedback from Susie on this package came crazy, they're not going to drop ship with you anymore.
One of the things I've had some clients do is in this Google folder or dropship folder that they've got the photos in, they have one folder that says, I think they called it presentation. Okay. And they made a Google Doc that listed, like, we will put your printed invoice in there. You know, we print on an HP, whatever, you know, like whatever the printer name was, so that they knew it wasn't just like, you know, coming off a typewriter. And then this is the process. This is how many days it takes us to get the order out. You know, this is how we ship. This is the cost of the shipping. And here's a photo of what our packages look like when they go out.
Wow, that's so great. That'd be very helpful. And then a risk on the brand side, I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm a brand who says, I drop ship and I'll work with you and I'll drop ship and I do an incredible job. Does that store ever come back and buy like a normal buyer again with me? Or are they going to always expect, now we're basically in a consignment relationship, like, is she going to come back to me one day and say, I'm ready to order 10 packs of that sweater? I almost would be concerned it would backfire on me to be able to work with a store on drop shipping.
So I think as stores open more and more, right, maybe it won't be for a year, maybe it won't be for 2, maybe it'll be next week. You know, we don't know. Everything is so day by day right now. But I like kind of back to what I was saying before about how the brand can try your shirt, right? Maybe they've never sold anything with stripes on it, but they think you look cute in it. So yeah, bring it on. We're going to put it on our site. And then you only sell striped shirts, right? You sell 20 different striped shirts. And then when their store can open full time, or they decide to do kind of the showroom version of their store with one each of your shirt colors and the stripes, then if it's working that way, right? Why? And that, because otherwise the customer is delayed, right? So if I go into a store and I see your shirt, I'm like, oh, I need a medium, right? Send me the medium, because they're not going to sell me the sample they have there. That's their one and only sample. I still have to wait 5 to 7 days or something to get it, right? But if, like you're saying, right, you want to go out to drinks and you want to get something new, you want to just walk into a store and go, whoop, I'll take that. Thank you, right? And so I think that's the difference, is the instant gratification of walking into a store and walking out with a new outfit or whatever, new accessories, and versus the ordering online. Now we're sort of forced to order more online, or some people are too afraid, or, you know, there's no markets to go to right now. You know what I mean? So life is not as we normally know it, right? It's every day is a new normal. And so I think that building those relationships, if your striped shirt does well, then Susie's going to say, yeah, I'll take a dozen of them, you know, next year or whenever she's allowed to open full time.
Yeah, I remember that time you shipped 10 for me in a week. I just need to buy the pack. And that actually asked, their question popped up in my head. This is from me. So you spoke about returns in drop shipping, but if it's on my website and it's not moving, do I go to the brand and have to ask if I want to put it on sale, or can I put it on sale and then just still have to pay them the 50% of the normal price we agreed on initially?
I think if things aren't moving when you try it, that you're just going to take it down and move on.
Okay.
And try something else, because like I was saying, it gives you the opportunity to test something, right? You test the $650 jacket, it's not working, and then you go back to the $350 ones because you only sold one and it's not worth it.
Stuck with the inventory. Mine's not there. And then we had another question. Can you address minimums and how we adjust pricing, since now as a brand we won't get the bulk pricing from a manufacturer? Does that make sense to you, Sarah? So they're a brand. Can you minimums, and how do we adjust our pricing as a brand, since now as a brand we won't get bulk pricing from their factories? I get it.
I see. So you're asking basically, or this person's asking because their order quantity is smaller now because they're not filling bigger orders.
Yeah, I think
is that what you're understanding?
Yeah, and I think what's happening a lot with our brands that we have at Magic is, because of what happened with COVID, a lot of their stores canceled orders, and they had already manufactured and purchased. So they're stuck with tons of inventory. And so that's why our brands are so open to doing drop shipping right now, is because they're willing to open up those packs and literally sell one by one to get rid of this product that now might not work for the next season or the next year, because, you know, fashion is so on demand. So basically, this person saying, though, in a normal circumstance, when people start buying like normal, not drop shipping, people are going to want smaller quantities. And how is their factory? You know, they will have to work with their factory on that. The higher, because the smaller the minimums they have to produce with their factories.
So factories are hurting for orders. So what I've been suggesting people do is go back and renegotiate. And just say, you know, if I was paying $15 to sew these jeans when I was ordering 300, I'm only going to order 50 right now, and I'm still going to pay you the same. Take it or leave it, or I'll go find somebody else. And I'm finding that everyone's getting a yes, we'll do it. Just because they're so behind in the orders, they'd rather make a little bit less. You know, when you're on a production line, it actually takes the same amount of time to make each individual garment, whether you're making 30 or 300, right? It's just they're making more, but it physically takes the exact same amount of time to sew those jeans as it does, except they can stack more fabric and cut more at one time, but nobody can sew more than the amount of sewing machines they have. So that part is limited. And I bet if you go out and ask for help and just say, I don't want to go out of business, this is my new way of doing things, you know, will you work with me? Most people I've found have been reporting back to me that the factories say yes.
Okay. No, that's great advice, Sarah. You have so many questions, and we only have a couple more minutes, and then Instagram Live kicks us out. It's my
yeah.
Through a couple more before we have to break up like we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Asked how do you pay, how does the boutique pay the brand once they sell an item?
Sure. So whatever works for you, whether you want them to Zelle you the money or PayPal it to you. But in the beginning, when you're developing the relationship, I would have them email you the order, right? Ship this to Susie, and oh, and here's your $25.
Got it.
And so, and then as I think as the relationship grows, then maybe once a week you can settle up or something like that, right?
It's like I either pay you daily and then you trust me and then I start paying you once a week or once a month.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. And somebody asked, how do we adjust inventory if multiple stores order the same style? So is that for drop shipping, I'm assuming? Wait, how do we, so a brand is asking, how do we adjust inventory if multiple stores order the same style? So I'm wondering if is that a drop shipping question or a normal buying situation question? Do you know?
I would say, well, if it's drop shippers, then I would just let and especially if you have the inventory, just let as many people sell it at the same time, let the best store win. And then when you don't have any more of it, right, you just email and say, this is sold out, take it down.
Got it. Perfect. That answers, I think, the question. Somebody said, is drop shipping a pre-order situation? I asked because it takes longer than 3 to 5 to turnaround time for denim to be made. Okay, so this is where drop shipping gets people think it's drop shipping from a factory to a brand, but we are talking today about a brand and a store relationship. So if you're talking about drop shipping, your brand, and you are selling and you want to get something for your factory, that's something different. Unless that's a pre-order situation, I think.
Yes. Well, I have actually encountered a few people who work with factories in the New York area who make to order. So you say, oh, I need a pen, and they make the pen and ship it. And obviously that costs a lot more because you're making one off each time, right? So I wouldn't suggest that as a way to really get a business going unless it's high end and people are going to pay that kind of, it's almost custom in a sense, right? Because you're making one pair at a time. I would say, if you're you got to order 50 pairs of jeans or 25 or whatever the lowest quantity you can order, and then sell those on your own site and get stores to drop ship for you, or get stores to, bring in a sample and let people try them on, or, whatever ends up working.
Okay, that's great. I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Like, you had this handbag brand back in the day. You got it on all the celebrities. How did you do that? We have so many brands that need help. And did you do that on your own? Did you hire an agency? How did that happen? And do those tips that you're about to tell us still apply to today?
Totally. Well, it was really hard back then because there was no websites and we didn't have anywhere local, like a localized place to go. But now you can go to contactanyscelebrity.com and you can, yes, that is seriously what it's called.
On there?
And you can get celebrity contacts there, and then you can start reaching out to celebrities through their gatekeepers, right? And ask if you can send them, drop off a gift or send it over or whatever you need to do. And that's how I, got my bags to over 70 or 80 celebrities. And then once you have a celebrity that has your product, you've got to pray and hope that maybe with social media now, they'll actually take a picture, I love my shirt or my earrings or my glasses, whatever you sent them. And sometimes they'll do unboxing videos. Sometimes they just post a photo, like a woman who I work with sent something to Sarah Jessica Parker, and she posted this lovely post and a photo of the hat this wool hat she sent her, and was like, what did I do to deserve these gifts? And within 20 minutes, 25,000 people had liked this post. And and then you can take screenshots, obviously, and use that in marketing to stores and magazines, and it really can work.
That, first of all, thank you for sharing that exact website, because I don't think people know that exists. And also, if you're on Instagram and you go to somebody you want to work with, whether it's an influencer or a celebrity that fits your style, you can usually, the business accounts all have something that just says email. I mean, because they're usually not answering their direct messages if they're that big. So if you email them, again, it will go directly to that celebrity's contact person. So that's a great way also. So we're almost out of time. I would love for you again to, if I think you have just really broken it down for us on what drop shipping is in a very simple, practical way. And that's what we needed today for people, because we have a lot to learn. This is a new hot term, and I think now more than ever, it's going to get more popular until things get really back to normal. So if people have more questions or they want to work with you, how can we find you one more time? And also if you can share your podcast, that would be really helpful too, because I was a guest and I felt that I listened to a few of your interviews before and I learned a lot just on the design side. So how can we find you? All the way.
Yes, you can find me everywhere at sarahshawconsulting.com.
So Sarah Shaw, SARAHSHAW consulting.com.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can feel free. There's a big banner. You can book a call with me. I'd love to talk to you if you need information about, anything really. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram both at Sarah Shaw Consulting, and would love to connect with anybody.
And do you work with brands and stores?
I do. I never used to work with stores, but I have been since this has gone down.
Okay. And then the podcast.
Oh, my podcast is called Get a Street Smart MBA. And you can find that link on my website as well, or on iTunes.
And I wanted everybody to know that was asking again about the dropship list. If you're just joining us or came on late, Magic, WWD Magic, we have a list of brands that are offering dropshipping. So message us at WWD Magic, or you can message me personally. I'll always answer you at Grey Doll, and that's GREYDAHL. That's my personal, and just say, can I get that list? And I'll get it to you. If you're a brand and you want to get on that list, I'm happy to add you too. Usually we just kind of promote the exhibitors that show at Magic, that are part of that Magic physical show family. But listen, we all need to help each other right now. So definitely hit any of us up also that raised our hand from Magic. Magic is now confirmed. We're happening September 29th to October 1st. So I hope everybody's able to still make it. Sarah, thank you so much. I was so
for having me
for your first live.
Yes, my first Instagram live.
Yeah,
I've done Facebook lives, but
no, it was so good. Thank you guys. DM us if you need anything. Otherwise, hopefully we answered all of your questions on drop shipping, and maybe we'll do this again, Sarah, because you had a lot of questions we didn't even get to.
Sure.
Obviously, it's something really important. And if there's other topics that you guys want to hear anything on, please message me also directly and let me know what you would like to hear. Like, we knew drop shipping would be something huge. What else? Is it influencer marketing? Is it shows? What can we help you with? So just let us know, and maybe we can bring Sarah back, okay?
Thanks, Kelly.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. It's almost Friday.
Yay!
All right. Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.